Hello, and once again, welcome back to the series where I beat every single PlayStation 2 game ever. Today, I am playing a game that I've known about for a long time, but never played, the Simpsons Hit Run. So join me as a Simpson family causes mayhem in Springfield as they uncover mind-controlling soda and an alien conspiracy. I start as Homer and do a few basic tasks to learn what the game has to offer. After doing such difficult tasks like helping your family and going to work, I notice that a mysterious black van appears to be spying on me. Of course, we have to investigate the situation. Using my detective skills, I figure out that Mr. Burns has something to do with the vans. I accused him of spying on people, but he assured me that they are just pizza vans. I feel so foolish for thinking otherwise. Mr. Burns would never do anything bad and lie about it. Later on, Bart gets abducted after trying to get a copy of the new Bone Storm 2 game. Then, Lisa goes on to try to find him. Normal stuff. The very first thing I noticed about this game is that it's a GTA clone. I'm sure most of you know that. The game was pitched as GTA for kids, and I think that pretty much describes this game perfectly. There are no guns or serious crime, but the rest of the game feels like a dulled down GTA ripoff. You're driving around doing basic missions with the option of doing additional objectives, while also collecting cash and crashing into stuff, including these weird looking yellow things.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg.
You even have the option to hijack cars and get the police called on you. And honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I love The Simpsons, and this is considered to be one of the best Simpsons games ever made. I agree that it's fun and it's funny, but at the same time, I wonder if it would have been as successful if it wasn't released around the same time as GTA games. For me, anything that copies the main structure of GTA is automatically docked a few points, because if that's one of the main selling points of the game, why would I not just play GTA instead? At least the developers didn't shy away from the fact that they were copying GTA. If they tried to pass this off as an original concept, I doubt it would have been popular. Let's move on to some positives. Firstly, the best thing about this game, the humor. The Simpsons Hit and Run is full of references, from Treehouse of Horror to Itchy and Scratchy to Signs. There's little things everywhere to find, and I know basically none of the references, but I can still appreciate them. I'm sure that fans of the show find that pretty cool. The dialogue between characters is well written and of course littered with jokes.
Homie, somebody ate every dessert in the house. I need you to run to the store and pick up some of that ice cream with the miniature pies in it.
Well, must have been one of our kids. Probably Millhouse.
What's even better about the voice lines is that all of the characters that speak are voiced by the original voice actors, or at least it sounded like it, and there's a decent amount of characters that speak. The Simpson family, Apu, Comic Book Guy, Otto, Mo, Cletus, Mr. Burns, Chief Wiggum, and many more. It's impressive actually, because as you may know, licensed games often don't have the original voice actors, so this is a huge positive. You are driving a car for 95% of the game, so thankfully the driving controls are actually decent. Many older games, and sometimes even new games, have bad driving mechanics, so that was a pleasant surprise. There are also about 50 unlockable cars to use, and they have different stats like speed, acceleration, and handling. You can unlock cars by buying them, winning races, and finding them around Springfield. Of course, you would expect there to be multiple cars to drive in a game where you mostly drive, but the fact that there are so many different cars is great. They could have just given you a handful of cars to mess with, maybe 2 or 3 a level, and called it a day. The fact that they didn't do that shows that they cared about making a good game. Then there's the map design. There are 3 different maps used throughout the game. None of them really stand out, but I don't think that's a huge deal, because they're not bad either. What is good about them is the shortcuts. There are shortcuts everywhere, whether it's going between buildings, jumping over buildings, or cutting through parking lots. The shortcut design is excellent. If it wasn't for the shortcuts, the maps would be pretty generic. Throughout the 7 levels, the same 3 maps are used. I don't see that as a negative or a positive though, although it is better than there being only 1 map. What I do see as a slight negative though, is that each level has the exact same format. They have the same amount of missions, the same amount of collectibles, and the same amount of extra stuff, including races, cars, and gags. And when you have the same structure, replaying a map feels basically the same. The missions are also pretty similar. They consist of racing, destroying cars, chasing cars, and collecting objects. The characters you play in the scenario does add some variety to the missions, but realistically, it's just the same things over and over again. Plus, there's a pretty basic story that doesn't really add much. It's like eating a different donut every day for breakfast. There is some variety, but it's still a donut, and eventually you want something different. Speaking of the story, Lisa eventually found Bart on a ship, and he has some memory loss. Then Marge went to figure out what happened to him. After some investigating, She learned that the new Buzz Cola has something to do with Bart's memory loss. She gives some cola to Bart and he goes back to normal. He reveals that the Buzz Cola is a mind-controlled cola made by aliens to make everyone insane. Then Apu is full of guilt for selling the cola, so he wants to redeem himself by learning who's behind making it. I do think there are more positives than negatives in this game. I think overall it's a very well made game. You can tell that this isn't just another cash grab from a licensed game like Bad Boys Miami Takedown. If you want to see me play that game, click here. The good controls, the well-written dialogue, the extras, and the music all work well together to make a fun game. Music is a very useful tool to set the scene and feeling of the situation. The Simpsons Hit and Run does a good job of doing that. There seems to be music that fits all of the characters for the various missions, and I really like that. This is also a pretty quick and easy game. Each level took between 30 and 60 minutes to complete while focusing on the main missions, so it took about 6 hours to beat. The only challenge for any mission was just learn the map and the shortcuts. You don't play for any serious gameplay or challenge or story. It's really just a game made to screw around with. And that's okay. There is definitely a place for games like this. I also didn't know what to expect because I never played the game before. To finish off the game, Apu learned all about the secret alien plan. He figured out that the WASP cameras were filming the Springfield citizens for King and Kodos for an intergalactic reality show called Foolish Earthlings, and they plan to spread the mind control in cola and hand out laser guns to cause a violence outbreak. Then Bart works on stopping that plan. He destroys laser gun stands and chases King and Kodos, but they manage to escape after releasing the cola into the water supply. Then Homer wants to protect his family, so he meets Dr. Frank, who has learned the alien's weakness, nuclear waste. Mr. Burns gave permission to take nuclear waste from the power plant. After sending a few barrels into the alien spaceship, it crashes and the aliens are defeated. Springfield then returns to normal. Well, as normal as it can be at least. I know I haven't made my opinion on this game very clear, so I will say, The Simpsons Hit and Run is a good game. It's one of those games that exists just for fun. If you need a laugh or want to just screw around for a bit, you could load this up and drive around the city or replay missions. There isn't much of a story or a lot of variety between levels, but it's still a good time. Not a great time though. Personally, I don't see myself ever coming back to this game in the future. I do plan on getting 100% completion though. I give it a 7 out of 10. Not my favorite game, but also not my least favorite game. It exists and I'm not mad about it. The video is over. Sorry about that. If you want more, you can click here to view the full playlist. Click this to see my favorite game I've played so far. And while you're clicking around, you might as well click the like and subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you for all your support. I really truly appreciate it. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.